Manchester Meadows in Rock Hill, the home of the 2015 South Atlantic Conference Men's Soccer Tournament. Today's championship contest will feature the number 4 seed Royals of Queen's University and the number 2 seed Bulldogs of Wingate University.
We welcome you to Manchester Meadows in Rock Hill, South Carolina for Championship Sunday for the South Atlantic Conference Men's Soccer Tournament. Alongside Craig Turnbull, my name is Jake Levy. Glad you could join us for Queens versus Wingate, number 4 versus number 2 for the championship. Craig, you're a former coach in this league. Obviously a lot of excitement. Both teams went to PKs yesterday to earn the right to play here today. What do you see coming into this game today?
You do worry a little bit about some tired legs, but fortunately, a rest day in between on the Saturday. Both teams with a lot to fight for right now. Seedings from a standpoint of possible NCAA tournament play and those types of things. So, the weather conditions are equal for everybody. Should be an exciting game.
Yeah, some rain early, but Queens scored 3 goals in the rain on Friday. Some rainy conditions again here today as we give you a look at how both teams got here to the Sunday finale. The Bulldogs starting in Rock Hill on a neutral site against Lenore Ryan, got a 2-0 victory, and then got the 3-1 victory in penalty kicks against number 3 Lincoln Memorial on Friday. Meanwhile, for Queens, they led 3-0 over the top seed Carson Newman Eagles in the first half, and then the Eagles battled back to force overtime. They were up 4-3 in penalty kicks, had a chance to put it away, but Queens able to rally back and get the 5-4 edge in PKs to get here to this Sunday. And so with both teams advancing on penalty kicks, let's give you a look now at some of the stars to watch. First for the Royals, Corey Brown has been outstanding all year long, and he had another great game on Friday.
Absolutely fantastic game. Tremendous pace, very solid as a target player, can go 1v1. As you see here, 9 goals, 11 assists for 29 points on the season. Fantastic player and very dynamic.
They'll be looking to provide some offense. Meanwhile, Pablo Yara on the other side looking to make the stops.
That's his job. I mean, freshman, he's expected to come in and get the job done. He did fabulous on Friday evening. Poise, athleticism, and it just generally makes things look easy, and freshman of the year. So it makes sense that he would be our star to watch for Wingate right now.
Pitched 9 shutouts on the season, including on Friday, then made 2 consecutive saves and penalty kicks after diving the right way on the first one. He was great. Queens Wingate looking to earn a SAC championship here today. We've got the opening kick coming up for you next here on the SAC Digital Network. And with that, we welcome you back to Manchester Meadows here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Craig Turnbull, Jake Levy, Ryan Brown captaining our great crew here for this Championship Sunday. A doubleheader starting with the Wingate Bulldogs, the 2nd seed in the Men's South Atlantic Conference Soccer Tournament, and the Queens Royals, the 4 seed. Craig, getting that upset over the top seeded Carson Newman, able to hold on and come back and win the penalty kicks after surrendering a 3-goal lead, so they certainly have to be happy to be here, but certainly some things to get corrected after scoring 3 goals in the first 20 minutes on Friday and then going silent after that.
It's a tricky situation when you go up 3 goals, especially in the first half. You talk about at halftime, hey, we can't let down. They're going to come back out after us, and if they maybe could have gotten that 4th goal, it would have killed the game off. But slowly but surely, Carson Newman battles their way back in.
There you get a look at today's referees, Sky Arthur Banning, the center ref, and you notice on their left ears they have headpieces here today with Caleb Robinson and Clive Edwards. So they're going with the headset so the linesman can talk with the center ref and make sure everybody's on the same page. The crowd just filing in on time, understandably so, as you see the weather here today, raining sideways with those winds gusting up to 14 miles an hour blowing to the northeast, and the temperature trying to reach 50 for us today right now, sitting at 49. But we've got soccer action ready to go. Both teams will be able to stay warm on the field. We hope you're comfortable wherever you may be watching, joining us here on the SAC Digital Network. 45 minutes on the clock. Axel Jewell and John Ander in the center circle. The Bulldogs, the second seed and the higher seed, so they will wear their home white and gold striped uniforms going left to right to get things started here in the first half. The Bulldogs were in this position a year ago, came up just short, looking for redemption. The Royals looking to erase the memory of a 5-0 loss at Wingate earlier this year. And with that, we're underway. Royals and Bulldogs on the SAC Digital Network. Damian Gaona with Charlie Machel, some miscommunication, and Liam Gillespie has to step up. As Alex Nelson turns it back, and Yara will get his first touch. We showed you Pablo Yara in the open, and just an outstanding display of goalkeeping on Friday, and then the unbelievable sportsmanship as well. After the missed PK gave Wingate the advancement, Yara held off his teammates to console the LMU rail splitter that missed the PK. Just unbelievable sportsmanship on that end as well.
You know, it's I guess sad to say that we don't see that often, but it was obviously, you were exactly right, a beautiful display of sportsmanship, and that's, you know, what conference championships are about. It's about claiming the title, but it's also doing it the right way.
And the Bulldogs, with the draw, feel like they're in pretty good position for the NCAA regionals now. They entered this tournament as the 5 seed. LMU was the 7, so had the rail splitters gotten a victory on Friday, things would be very dicey for Wingate, but the draw probably keeps them in that spot. Now a chance to solidify that position here today. Maciel trying to cut off Gadsby, and Wolotica slips it through. Good one-touch pass from Gadsby. Colin Ross chips it over the top, looking for Charlie Machel. It's on point. Machel touched a little heavy, going to try to catch up to it, and he will keep it in play. Machel wrapping it around before finally getting run out, and Queens will get the throw, but a beautiful insert there from Colin Ross. Just a little bit heavy on the receive was Charlie Machel.
Yeah, and again, teams adjusting a little bit. It's easy to warm up and get used to the bounce and used to a skip on the turf or something like that, but that first time that defender steps in the way, it changes things a little bit.
You see a ton of umbrellas on your screen as the fans coming prepared for this rainy Sunday, but still coming in droves. A couple of local schools here in the Rock Hill area. Queens University of Charlotte, obviously from Charlotte, and then Wingate about 20 miles east of the Queen City.
Early stages here, I'm noticing not really any significant change from either team. Exact same similar lineups to Friday in the semis, and positionally it seems to be very similar from both squads.
Well, Queens trying to mirror the start they had on Friday as well when they scored those 3 goals in the first 25 minutes. Gadsby chips it through to the box. Machel trying to make a run on the back end, and it's cleared up and away. Important stop from Austin Huddy, one of the goal scorers for Queens on Friday. But Wingate will get a corner kick here, the first set piece for either side.
Championship games, set pieces. Always, as a coach, always tried to focus on those things, and certainly I'm sure both teams are right now. You don't get a lot of scoring opportunities typically in championship matches, so you have to take advantage of the restarts.
Queens and Carson Newman both scored on corner kicks like this on Friday. Wingate goes small. Gadsby on the return, slides it back for Fairgrieve. Low line drive insert, easily cleared away by Mark Kevin Schwenk. Gaona there to cut off the counter for a moment, but a good step from Corey Brown. And then Gaona has to do more defending as Dudu Campos was in a good position, as he was much of the match on Friday. And Corey Brown again trying to play distributor. Second in the conference in points, behind only Tom Reed. It's a good play by Gillespie defensively. Maciel tried to step it back for Queens, and Fairgrave composed in traffic. Just underway here from Manchester Meadows. Craig Turnbull, Jake Levy here with you. Ryan Brown captaining our great crew on hand on the SAC Digital Network. Number 4 seed Queens Royals finding their way into the tournament. It was the 6 seed Tusculum that got the win last year, taking down the top seeded Bulldogs in the championship match. Now Wingate back in the tournament finals for the 2nd consecutive year. A good play up by Wolotica. Stepping in as Ander, he rolls it past the keeper, and it'll roll on through for the goal for the SAC Player of the Year. The Bulldogs strike first. Wolotica on the beautiful delivery, setting up John Ander, and the Bulldogs strike here in the 5th minute.
Looked like maybe a little bit of miscommunication in the back from Queens. Ander did well, just took a half chance, stuck a foot in, and was able to poke it by.
Squeaked it on through past the keeper, and the simple finish, just letting it dribble in. And John Ander who got the SAC Player of the Year honors, showing why early in this championship match.
As you see, Ander just running in here, not really a great chance, but a half chance, like I said, and just got enough of it. I think he got enough of it. It was definitely a deflection, but Ander, I'm assuming, would take credit for it happily.
Just able to beat out the right foot of Omar Okier, and Ander picks up his 11th goal of the season. And Wingate, after not scoring in 110 minutes against LMU, wastes no time getting on the scoreboard here in the championship match. So now we'll see how Queens responds. This is the first time they've trailed in Rock Hill. They did all the early scoring on Friday, but so far it's Wingate.
It seemed when the match started, those first 5 minutes or 4 minutes, Queens sat back a little bit, wanted to keep Wingate in front of them. Now, how do they respond? Do they change tactics all of a sudden and become a little bit more direct, try to take advantage of Corey Brown's pace up top?
Good job by Maceo to slip that ahead, but right there was Wolotica. Now Gillespie serving it over the top, hoping for Gaona. He heads it center. Axel Joule puts another head on it into space. If Gaona can catch up to it, he does. Turns it back in front. Blocked off for a moment by Huddy. Machel has it. Squirts it across. Finds the foot of Callum Ross for a long-range drive, and it rises over the crossbar.
Nice poise there from Ross, and good recognition when he had opportunity to hit. He had about 5 yards of free space, settle it, get a nice foot on top of the ball.
Another good chance, and the second team all-conference selection, Callum Ross, trying the long-range drive. Queens looking to apply some pressure in the offensive zone now. Here's Schwenk. What a match he had on Friday, the goal and the assist. A beautiful corner take that he inserted to the guy who has the ball now, Austin Huddy, as the two connected for the goal to put them up 2-0 at the time. Now Queens starting to build some possession. Okier. Joule pries it off his feet. Then Huddy will get the foul on Joule as the linesman raises the flag.
Take a look here and see who got the actual final touch on that goal. Yeah, you got me. Did you see it, Jake?
Goalkeeper was in the way, as he's supposed to do. He did his job. Looked like Ander got a touch on it from our angle on the initial view. Wolotica. And Gadsby on the half volley as the rain really starts to pick up here. Schwenk tripped up by Fairgrieve. And the ref's going to stop the clock here. There might be further action on David Fairgrieve. At least a conversation.
Yeah, I would suspect a conversation this early in the match. Just, got in a little late on the tackle, but no malice intended there in any way, shape, or form. And
there you see the refs. Again, we talked about it right before opening kick with the radio, so they can communicate with each other from the sidelines. Linesmen and center ref can discuss calls, which makes it certainly much easier. Also saw the can of spray, if necessary, to mark the line for 10 yards, excuse me. Here's a chip in, well placed for Brown, but just a step in front, and it'll roll harmlessly in on Yara. And we'll watch it again. Both of them wearing orange cleats, but it might be Okier that touched it.
I believe you're right. Okier does look to slide that back. And has no chance, really. He can't really play it out for a corner kick. Can't do anything, and unfortunately, just, again, the miscommunication.
And I don't know if Ander got a touch on it. He'll take credit for the goal, but... Yeah. Machel tries to feather one through. Okier there. Fairgrieve, who just had the talking to from the ref. Ander, good return feed, hoping for Joule, but the wrong number 6. It's Eric Liebel who gets there first. Loose ball. You're going to start seeing some 50-50 balls increase here as this weather makes the surface even more slick. Already artificial turf. As it's chipped wide to Gaona. Well placed for Joule. Schwenk trying to start a counter. Rolls it ahead nicely for Silas Villar. Villar trying to set up Brown. Nelson just able to cut it off, but it comes back to Schwenk. That was blocked off. Joule stepping through Okier, and then the ref will award the foul. And Wingate gets a free kick from right at midfield.
Yeah, in the middle today, I believe it's Abbas Paran in the middle. Has the wonderful whistle in his mouth, ready to deal with these 90 minutes.
Brown Trying to start a counter. He's tripped up from Alex Nelson, and that'll get a free kick. Not a bad foul there from the defense, realizing Corey Brown's got great speed, and you're the last line on the wrong side of midfield. So just trips him up and gives the Bulldog defense a chance to reset.
Mentioning Nelson there for Wingate. Fantastic semifinal match, I thought. We haven't really mentioned him much today, but he's a player that just quietly does his job. Doesn't seem to be a flamboyant character in any way, shape, or form. Just steady, sturdy defender, and you like that in a center back. Very good organizationally.
First team all-conference selection out of Newcastle, England. As Gillespie will just further this along with the head, so Yard can scoop it up and redistribute, flipping fields for the Bulldogs. Already a sloppy goal on the foot race, and the conditions continue to worsen. Nelson, good floater for Wolotica. That over the foot of Gadsby though, and Queens can calmly settle. We saw Queens' ability to score in bunches on Friday as Gaona runs down Dudu Campos, whistle silent. As that touch through, hoping for Ander, it'll get there. Ander sidesteps the defender, continuing to work to midfield. Ander has a drive, and that scoots off the diving hands of the keeper, Matt Current, and a good save will give Wingate their second corner kick of the match.
Very nice individual effort from Ander. He's able to receive the ball and just create some free space for himself. A lot of times goal scorers, you don't need 16 feet to shoot. You need about a foot or two to get the ball by, and he did very well to create space for himself. And
that looked like it had eyes for goal, so a good save from Current. Now here's the corner from Gadsby. Flicked off by a Queens defender. Gaona reinserts, and that's under everybody. And see if that was deflected. It was not. Well, no, the center ref is going to say it was. So the linesman pointing to the middle for a goal kick. The referee saying he saw the deflection. Now making his case to Oliver Carrillas as Wingate sets up for their third corner.
They actually have a 3v1 set up in the corner.
That time it was Joel who started it. Fairgrave now lofts it to the back post. Leaping was Gillespie, but it's pushed away from him. And Gillespie actually got a little too aggressive fighting for that header, and he's called for the foul, so a free release for the Royals.
Anders shot there just outside the post, but a good job as a goalkeeper. You need to be certain, and did a good job of covering it, maybe a foot or two wide.
Yeah, it certainly had some curl away from target, but as you said, Current couldn't take any chances. Machel tries to set it up for Joel. Gaona blocked off by Okier. Machel stepped to it, and then he this time got the deflection for sure off the leg of Huddy, and Wingate will get another corner kick. Doing the bulk of the possessing here early on, have a 1-0 lead. 12 minutes gone by.
Seen a couple different looks here from corners early for Wingate, and they probably have more up their sleeve.
Play it to the back post and headed away nicely by Schwenk. Gadsby onside, goes all the way across, and that'll curl out of play. That one definitely a goal kick.
I like the idea there from Gadsby. Just go ahead and drive it hard to the back post. Unfortunately got a little under the ball to fly it out, but a good opportunity because there were some Wingate players stacked up on that back pole.
So the Royals looking to string some passes together and get into the attacking zone here. Maciel got a head on it, but went right to Gillespie. Now trouble as Queens works ahead. Corey Brown is onside, but he couldn't catch up. And you know you timed it perfectly when three defensive backs point their hands in the air and the referee doesn't. Chested down by Kalazinski. Schwenk back for Huddy, able to sidestep Ander. One touch through the middle by Villar. And Maciel with eyes up looking to send an aerial insert. That's hoping for Brown as well. This time the flag will come up. Just took an extra second before he sent Brown, who was standing just waiting patiently but couldn't wait quite long enough and got drawn offsides.
As we said earlier, great communication from the back line there for Wingate. all three defenders in that scenario stepping up perfectly.
As you see Gary Hamill in his 25th season at the helm of the Wingate Bulldogs, that rain falling hard in front of him. 286 wins in his storied career. And on the other side, in his 5th season at the helm of the Royals, Oliver Carrillas, 42, 46, and 2 overall. Just his second tie of his 5-year career coming on Friday.
I was going to say, Coach is a little tougher than we are. He's standing out in the elements with shorts on him.
Here you got Gary Hamill under the tent. Wingate brought 2 tents with them. But the Royals out there in the elements. That'll stay with the Royals. They say it went off Gaona and not Villar. So Huddy will throw it in. Queens trying to put something together here. Quarter hour gone by. They'll be content to build possession with their back line. That ball through for Schwenk. Cleared by Nelson, but to nobody in particular. Maciel steps to it first. Flipped field for Okier. Launches it for Brown. That's a good ball, but Nelson in great positioning to head it away.
As you see here with Queens, when losing possession, they really do drop off quite a bit, 15, 20 yards off the ball, making sure they're getting behind the ball.
It's a good ball by Gillespie. Now a chip through from Ander, but the wrong direction through Okier. Good step from Campos. Schwenk was deposited to the turf. Whistle silent. As Yara will come out to scare away the threat from Isaac Walker and then backtrack to play it in the 18 box. Schwenk steps in, takes it off the foot of Fairgrieve, but Callum Ross there to further it along for Wingate. Melodica now. Villar fighting Ross off the ball and tugs at him a couple extra times. Wingate will start quick. Ander. That ball deflected by Villar, but Ander almost got back to it again. It's Maciel instead. And there you saw that sagging off of the defense. John Ander playing with the ball at midfield. And the Queens Royals were willing to let him do everything he wanted out there, but as soon as he tried to turn upfield, then they attacked.
And Queens needs to solve this riddle. Wingate is doing a very nice job of recognizing when that long ball is going to go to over the top to Corey Brown, and they're just dropping off 5 yards and receiving it, saying thank you very much.
Axel Jewell for Gadsby. That's well timed if he can keep it in. Rolls it back towards the 6 box, and Ander redirects. But that was deflected on its way wide, and Wingate another corner kick.
Dangerous situations here. Watching quite a few, 4 Queens Royals players on the touchline getting loose, warming up. Player I imagine we'd see fairly quickly would be Ajeezy. Had a fantastic semifinal match, I felt, went up top.
Yeah, he was really a great compliment to Corey Brown at the top of that formation. They shifted more to a 4-4-2 once he came in. As here's the restart from Fairgrieve. Okier there by himself to clear it. Villar furthered it. Gadsby run off by Brown. Fairgrieve another chip towards the back post. Gillespie lets it go for Machel, who one-times it wide. What an effort from Charlie Machel. Going for highlight reel material, but missing the far post.
That would have been a fabulous goal if that finds that far post.
The 2014 South Atlantic Conference Player of the Year.
Nice full volley here. Just pulls it well, maybe 5 feet wide, 5-6 yards wide, but certainly a great attempt.
Made it a lot closer than I certainly thought he'd be able to, with that leg almost parallel to his body. Callum Ross chipped it forward through some strong contact from Queens. That'll stay with Wingate despite the pleas from the Queens bench. Wingate continues to march forward. John Ander, the 2015 SAC Player of the Year, giving the Bulldogs the early lead if you're just joining us here from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Now Melodica, who got the assist on that play. He's tripped up, and the ref going to get the foul well after the fact with Wolotica, the freshman, now slow to get up. Good spot here for the free kick for Wingate. You see the foul again. It's Maciel.
It was more on the follow through, maybe on the slide. Again, the wet conditions caused him to slide into the Wingate player and bring him down, create the situation.
Gadsby. Good turn from Campos. Now Villar pokes it ahead. Queens looking to counter. Sidestepping defenders. Villar. But there's Gadsby to cut off the pass for Brown. Machel. Tries to get around Huddy, but that's well defended. Machel does eventually pry it free, though. Roller through, blocked off, and then cleared as far as Fairgrieve. Now Gaona steps it for Fairgrieve. Schwank bumps him off the ball. Another good chance for Brown. Nelson had to be perfect. He loses it. Now Corey Brown in some space. Brown working it towards the box. Crosses up Nelson again, but will run out of real estate as Nelson forced enough of pressure on Corey Brown so he couldn't control that in these slick conditions.
Corey Brown has a tough situation there. He has to hold the ball up just enough so the Queens Royals can get up and support. And midfield was actually a little bit slow in getting forward. He kind of glanced over his shoulder, almost looking like, where is everybody? And unfortunately took that last heavy touch out of bounds.
Yeah, this formation certainly puts a lot on Corey Brown at the top of it. Campos makes some runs as well.
This flank side, right side flank matchup with Huddy and Machel is going to be interesting to watch. And I noticed as the ball transitions to the left side of the field, they have a 1v1 situation created there. It's a matter of can Wingate find that early enough, and can Huddy hold down the spot, which I think that he can, but certainly the 1v1 opportunities are there.
Already seen that battle a couple of times today, and Machel a couple of tough looks at goal, including the full volley attempt a bit ago, but it's John Anders so far who has the goal in the match. Right around midfield, seems like as soon as Queens gets it in that position, they're trying that through ball for Corey Brown, forcing Wingate center backs to be perfect, and so far Nelson and Gillespie have done a nice job of reading those. Gaona trying to make the run from his wing back position, and he did get the deflection. Campos tight roping the sideline is run out by Gaona. And we'll have our first substitution of the match as the Royals look to get some fresh legs on. It's Luke Patberg, the freshman from Georgia. Makes an appearance, taking the place of Eric Liebel. He immediately enters and throws in, but the throw in red by Wingate, and now Colin Ross trying to flip fields for Gadsby.
Yeah, Queens has chosen to put Huddy on the right flank now, with Patberg coming into the left side.
Ball through for Ander. Fairgrieve tried the one touch through as Ander and Machel have switched here, and now Ander playing that more wing position on the near side with Charlie Machel moving to that center forward spot. That also may be part of the reason for the switch defensively, as we've got further action here, and Gillespie shoving Silas Villar to the ground. Villar holding his face as he hits the turf. The referee is going to the book.
That's going to change things.
And a straight red to Liam Gillespie for the two-arm shove. As things continue to get heated up, the referee's got to get control of this right now. As a two-arm shove from Liam Gillespie and a straight red card. will have the Wingate Bulldogs a goal up but a man down for the rest of the match. And the captain, Liam Gillespie, going over now to plead his case. He does have the right with the captain's band. But Gillespie will be sent off. And that's certainly a game changer here in a match that had Wingate in the bulk of the possession, a bulk of the chances. And now they'll have to figure out a way to try to survive playing down a man.
Well, anytime those hands come up and you know, clearly a shove, there's no choice. You know, the center referee doesn't want to affect the match, but has to. There's absolutely no choice but to give a red card in that situation.
Yeah, things were getting heated.
Not sure what led up to that, to be honest with you, but as I looked across the field.
I'll take another look at it as Gillespie. Again, it's a shove. You see the hands move, but I don't know if he had enough force behind that to knock somebody the size of Fort. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, in the world of soccer, unfortunately, the flop is part of things, but
wow.
You know, again, don't put yourself in that situation.
You're absolutely right. Take nothing away from what Gillespie did. It was still wrong, but certainly probably would have been a yellow had Villar not taken a tumble the way he did and rolled around holding his face. I don't even think the shove went into his face. So a good acting job helps further along the bad decision by the Wingate captain, and now 24 minutes into the match, Wingate playing with 10.
And further implications for that, the next match. You know, the possible first round bid to the NCAAs, and then you're without a captain as well, and a very strong right back.
Wingate has shifted Callum Ross to that center back role. And they're going to play with 3 on the back line for now, it looks like, with Wolotica, Nelson, and Ross. So 2 captains still on the back line, but Wingate changing their formation and still trying to keep the offensive pressure up as they're going to make a couple of substitutions. Now that bench is going to be very important for Wingate, doing a lot of running in these sloppy conditions, playing with just 10.
I was just going to say to you, Jake, I bet Ajeezy comes in and plays 2 up top now for Queens to really make Wingate make a decision. Are we going to stay 3 in the back or go 4? And this pretty much tips the hand. I would have to say Wingate is going to have to go back to 4 in the back.
Also number 14, Gustavo Andrade.
Has a tip back. Gillespie pointed at Celes Villar as this runs across, and this is what had Gillespie upset as you watch him play the ball, and then after the play, just the knee came up a little too high for Gillespie's liking.
Definitely you could feel the energy changing a little bit. Queens is now all of a sudden maybe sniffed blood a little. It's come to life.
Brown for Ajeji on the far side. Good cross in, that'll skip on Yara though. And too tight to the Wingate keeper, he'll haul that in easily. So Callum Ross will be asked to play a different role. He was more of a holding midfielder that did some attacking, but now moved to the central back position.
Wingate doing a nice job of just controlling the flow of play forward.
Gustavo Andrade, who just checked in, is then deposited to the turf. And the fans starting to get in on it here as the official forced to make a couple of calls so far, as they will stop the clock now at 18:25. And there you see the push and then a stumble back.
You know what's ironic about that? There's a lot of other pushing and shoving and hugging and grabbing, but no one else went down quite as easily as that. again, I do fully agree with the red card in that situation. At live speed, it's very hard to not see that on the field.
Ross chips it towards the box. Now here's the substitute, Luke Patberg, for Mark-Kevin Schwenk. Ejeji. Now Maciel. Huddy, who's now probing that right side. Walker gets it to Schwenk. Good step. Villar trying to turn it through Nelson. But a strong play from the Wingate center back stops things there.
Queens actually appears to be playing almost 3 up top in these scenarios when they cross midfield.
Gaona with a steal, trying to make a run. He does keep it in play. Gaona lofts one over the top of the defense. Stepping in is Ander. He chests it to himself. John Ander blocked off. Beautiful play. Coming over to help Al Kalzinski. And then Ander called for the foul as he gets tangled up with Huddy just outside the box.
Gaona with a wonderful ball, switching ball to the top left side box. Get to take a look at it here. Just well played, well struck, well weighted, everything about it. Ander, I almost wish he could have taken that one time. Ball skipped off the turf at him a little bit.
It fell straight down off his body, so he had to wait for it to get out in front. And that allowed just enough time for Kalzinski to come over and cut it off. Schwenk steps it wide for Ejeji. He's got good space. Ejeji one-on-one with Gaona will have a drive for goal. And Yara there.
Ejeji not putting a lot of power on it, but recognizing far post was open and trying to curl that in. Initially, I didn't think it was going to curl, but those last 10, 12 feet of it really started to bend.
And Yara patiently waited as it bent towards the back post. And that's the first true shot for the Royals with nearly a half hour gone.
I do like the fact from Wingate, there's no real panic on the field with the players. You know, it's granted they're down one player, but doing well, continuing to try to control the flow.
Andrade tried to drop it through. Now JJ will settle near midfield. Good job to flip. Now a chip over the top. Looking for Patberg to make the run, but Ross does well to force some separation, and then Yara easily the first to get there. Wolotica. Ander turns for Machel on the back post, headed down, blocked. They wanted a handball, referee says no. Another great insert. Charlie Machel got ahead on it and it was blocked. Perhaps referee saying incidental contact, won't award the penalty for the handball in the box. Allen intercepts. And some miscommunication between him and Machel. And the turnover allows Queens to start up. Schwenk.
That's why I think Queens needs to do a little bit more of that. Instead of going north to south, they need a little bit more east-west action and then try to pop one in, catching Wingate on a bit of a shift.
Maciel now. Queens starting to establish some good possession.
If they could just zip it a little quicker, I think they'd create some gaps.
Okier. Right to the skull of Nelson. Gadsby will turn and clear. Now you see Wingate a little bit more compact, playing with those 10.
It's never easier playing with 10, but it sounds stupid to say, but sometimes it is a little easier because you know you have to play simple. Don't try to do things you're not capable of, and you end up maybe almost being more efficient with what you're doing. At least that's what I used to try to tell my team if we were down to 10.
Whatever motivation you can find.
Exactly.
Here's Villar. Sidesteps the defender and drives one wide of goal. And time to SAC it as Machel looking for some breathing room, but it was blocked off in front.
We'll take a look at this possible handball situation. No, that was hip or chest.
It caught his hand after the hip. As you watch it flow through, there it is. As it glances the hand, but off the deflection. Tough to call that. Certainly unintentional.
Yep.
I think it's a good no call there. As James Scott enters the match for Wingate. Here in second team all-conference honors as a freshman a year ago. And now he gets inserted into a center back role. So Gary Hamill and the Wingate Bulldogs trying to find creative ways to replace Liam Gillespie along that back line. Pat Berg goes through the legs of Correa. Feeds it through for Brown. Chip over the top. Ander settles and circles, but he's run off, and the double team squeezes the ball free. Schwenk up for Villar. Celis Villar goes straight down the pipe. Had a JJ on the far side. Corey Brown making the run at the top.
Queens is just having a hard time connecting passes. As JJ, this 2 or 3 times now, has essentially been wide open. They just can't pop a ball over the top to him.
Nelson walks it forward. So far, Wingate still showing some good pace despite being down a man, but of course with these colder temperatures and the rain, that's something that you have to keep an eye on late in the match to see if when the fatigue sets in, how long Wingate can keep it up. Okier, good step. Villar for Schwenk. Mark Kevin Schwenk turns on the Jets. Streaming through Correa, that's a handball.
Queens has to be smart here. Have to pull Wingate out a little bit before they try to pop that ball in. Wingate fully saying, "Hey, you guys can have it. We'll sit back a little bit. We'll keep you in front of us."
And Queens probably look to flip fields a bit more now and keep those defenders running back and forth laterally.
This is better, but it's this final pass here that they've struggled with.
As Brown takes a seat. Is that something that Wingate's doing defensively that's forcing that tough final insert pass, or is that something on the Queens side?
Well, I do think the Wingate midfielders are doing a nice job of pressuring the ball, getting the head down of the guy that has the ball so we can't find that open pass. But then also I think a little bit of mistiming on the runs from Queens with the top players up top, excuse me.
Final 10 minutes of the first half. You're watching the South Atlantic Conference Soccer Men's Tournament Championship match. The 4th-seeded Queens Royals, 2nd-seeded Wingate Bulldogs. Greg Turnbull, Jake Levy on the call, Ryan Brown, and our whole great crew on hand from the SAC Digital Network. Pena trying to fight through, and a little bit of a late whistle, but it does come to give the free kick for Queens in a pretty good spot.
That was a bit of an interesting challenge there from Ross. It seemed a little late. I don't think he actually made contact, but it looked semi-menacing when he stepped in.
The ref looked at it for an extra second.
I definitely did.
Awarding the free kick. It'll be Schwenk to take it. He got the assist off a corner kick on Friday. As he eyes the 18. Skies it towards the back post. There's Yara to punch it down. It's still free in front. Villar had to go but couldn't pull the trigger, and Wingate escapes with it. Schwenk will just deposit it back over the top, and it will be a goal kick for the Bulldogs. Time now for our SAC Digital Network trivia question. Here you go, Craig. Wingate won regular season in 2014, but lost the SAC tournament title. When was the last time Wingate won the regular season and postseason in the same year?
It's either 2002 or 94, and I'm going to go 2002.
The guess is 2002.
I don't know, though, to be honest. It is a guess.
We'll have the answer coming up for you in just a couple of minutes. Let you at home figure it out. Maybe do some research. Hopefully you've got the browser full screen on the match right now so you can't go Googling it.
All my years of coaching, which those years were involved in there, they all just blended together, and I can't separate them to save my life. I don't even know who wins from day to day, it seems like sometimes on our campus.
Cam Burrows, the senior, subbed into the match a moment ago during that trivia question. He and Nate Evans, the freshman, making appearances for Wingate now. Queens got Edmundo Robinson, another forward on, the freshman out of Stone Mountain, Georgia. Gadsby trying to turn. A collision leaves the Queens player slow to get up. Evans trying to fight through, and he's called for the foul, taking down Schwenk.
I thought Evans did well on Friday when he went into the match. You know, played hard, good, maybe 10, 15 minutes. Just busy, just very, very, very busy, like he's doing now.
And he'll get called for another foul as he fighting with Schwenk. Mark-Evan Schwenk, the junior out of Berlin, Germany, lofted over the top on the free restart. Huddy blocked off by Wolotica. That's a couple of freshmen that are going to have to step up in the big roles today. Wolotica along that back line to start, and losing one of his senior center backs. Zajeji fought off. Gaona ahead to Evans. Not much in the numbers department, so he'll just chip this over the top. Give Gadsby a chance to try to run it down.
Gadsby was just maybe 5 yards off that play, just trailing it a little bit, but good idea from Evans.
It's going to be so tough to pull those counters because everybody has to be behind the ball for Wingate.
That's a kind of a 1v3 solo effort type of thing that might work.
It was a pretty well-weighted ball, just lofted over to get Gadsby just a chance to run to it. Schwenk. That's a good ball to Huddy.
This is better from Queens here now.
Playing it wide, trying to sidestep Wolotica, and he got the deflection as he cleared it out. So they're going one-on-one versus the freshman a couple of times now, and twice in a row Wolotica gets the win in that battle one-on-one. Tight-roping the sideline. He loses it eventually to Ajeji. Brown playing wide. Nice step over the top. Nelson runs in and clears it away from Alan Garcia Pena. Kalzinski. Pat Berg. And he did call the foul on Charlie Machel.
Certainly hear some of the fans. Every call now is becoming more and more incensing to them.
Well, once a red card is shown, of course, everything gets elevated a little bit.
Changes
the
a little
players,
bit, yeah.
the fans, the referees, the benches.
That's right.
Schwenk. Good ball in. But the foul called on Huddy as he was trying to fight off Charlie Machel and James Scott. Here's the foul call on Machel.
Yeah, it definitely gets into him from behind a little bit. Doesn't really raise the arm, but comes in a little bit with a little bit of force to knock it to the ground.
Clear block in the back.
Yeah, that's true. Would have been the kick return block in the back, which seems to happen on every single play in football, on every kickoff nowadays, doesn't it? It's always a block in the back.
Schwenk fighting off Gaona. Now a good ball in for Brown, who got the deflection off of Burrows, and this will be the first corner for Queens as they look to set up shop here. 4 minutes left in the half, trying to get a late equalizer before halftime.
Absolutely have to execute here. This is really one of the best goal-scoring chances Queens has had all game, and to get it right before half would be crucial.
It'll be Corey Brown, second in the conference in points, inserting from the near corner.
He's going with an in-swinger as well.
To the front post. Yara dove to punch it. I don't know if it was him or Schwenk that deflected that ball, but it went the right way if you're Wingate.
Yeah, I'm confused if he got a punch on that or not.
Villar. And the Wingate supporters starting to boo him every time he touches the ball after he drew the red card on Liam Gillespie. Njeji. Wide for Huddy. And Wolotica will get whistled for the foul. It was the linesman who called it. Now look again at the corner defense. Who else but Alex Nelson?
Yep, exactly. Look at quietly doing his job again, like I said, 5-10 minutes ago.
Another look for Schwenk. Schwenk to the far post. Yara leaps and hauls it in.
Wow, 3 Queens players lurking on that far post. Yara did very well, just sees it early, steps in front, no problem.
Scott to Machel, and he tried to just touch it back for Ross, and that was intercepted. Wolotica gets there just before Brown. Ross took an extra second. Schwenk takes it away. A chance for a run for Robinson. It's blocked. Second chance to feather it through. Burrows there, but Schwenk's got it, and then he's finished to the ground by James Scott. Whistle stays quiet as Wingate turns upfield. Pena gets the deflection from Machel out. A throw-in coming for Queens. I think Schwenk was going to the ground anyway, but a little extra help to get him there quicker. Referee staring right at it, said play on. Under 2 to go now in this first half. As Huddy trying to step past Gadsby, and he does. Looking to curl it back in front. That's slid away by Nelson. And it'll be a corner quick for the Royals. Quickly before the corner time, take a look at our answer to our SAC Digital Network trivia question. You were 1 for 2. You went with 2002. But 1994, the correct answer. The last time the Wingate Bulldogs won both the regular season and tournament championship.
I had a chance, 50-50 on it, and I went with the wrong direction. That's why I'm not a gambling man.
Did you know the trivia question? You had that answer written down in your book.
It's something that I had just taken a look at last night to see when the previous championships, how many each team has won, and so forth and so on. I almost pulled it off. I remember being here last year, Ryan, or with Ryan Brown, and tried to trip me up on one, but it was a Catawba College answer, so I knew that one.
Schwenk steps it inside. Robinson has a go.
It's a great opportunity there.
Gadsby pulls it down and just escapes danger, and then he was tripped up. So the free kick coming for Wingate. Of course, the Royals not exactly going to throw the ball back to them, so they'll let plenty of time drip away. So Wingate might have one more chance here to push forward. And in a position like this, is now the ref will stop the clock at 38 seconds. So Wingate can restart.
Yeah, Wingate really no need to even go forward with this ball.
Yara will lace it upfield.
It's a smart play to the flanks.
And it feathers all the way through to Gadsby. Gadsby turning inside, blocked off. 18 seconds left, a chance for a run now for Wingate. Scott there to head it down, but it finds Ajeji. He turns up, trying to get past James Scott. He'll step in front, though, and roll it back for Yara as the countdown ensues. And Yara just deposits it out, and that will be how the first half comes to a close. So a lot of action early in Wingate's favor. They get the goal off the foot of John Ander, but also take a red card and down a man, able to keep it scoreless the rest of the way through the first 45 minutes. So 1-0, the Bulldogs, the second seed in the tournament, off the feed from Wolotica. It was the foot race that Ander steps inside, and the SAC Player of the Year has the Bulldogs on top in the SAC Championship match as we reach halftime on the SAC Digital Network.
got to jump from both sides.
Wait, who? Being like our boys?
No. Them. They would have had Blue coming from that way, and then Blue just hopping over the fence this way. Bro, we were all ready.
Dude, it's fucking cold.
Dude, we have to get somebody on the keeper on corners. Corners and place kicks.
I'm good, man.
He's too good.
Freezing. He's not.
He's too good to be left unmarked. The keeper on the place kicks and corners.
Yeah,
That's true.
tell Corey again on the stand there.
Dude, I don't even listen to him anymore, honestly. Oh, I'll tell him. He's right there. Yeah. Fuck, bro. Sucks, bro.
Get the team going. We don't even look at them.
They're a man down and they still have more possession than we do.
We thought we were playing Call of Duty the other night.
And he
says,
takes Kaio out.
You know how people are just like, are you yanking my leg? I was say that. Like, he pulled my leg.
Dude,
He's gonna start saying, I'm jerking my dick.
I don't know.
Are you really jerking? It's so explicit. It's ridiculous.
Are you jerking my dick?
How you jerking?
Nah, I thought Mark was doing more shit. I thought Kyle.
Fucking beat it.
Buns, bro.
Who?
Mark's been playing like buns. But,
Hey, they're going in. They're going in.
Chris, what you shaking?
God forbid, I'll give him a chance. I'll never get a chance, bro.
Good hustle, Chris. Good hustle. What?
Hurry up.
I just used Phil's word.
Chris is good, but that is going south real quick. He's good on ways that is going south real quick. We're gonna be right back. We're in the same exact position. I think I'll be able to step in for that spot. I'm gonna have to give up my wing or whatever, but that's fine. How pissed do you think Chris is good at Coach Man playing next year? Because he always makes a play in practice and he gets so angry. Are you jerking? I'd be like, bro, you can't complain. You're playing now. So did they take 10 the rest of the game? Or just that half? It was just a half, right? I wish I wouldn't have got a red card. Now they're going to say, it was only because we had 10 men. That's what people are going to say now. Either way, they're going to. And I'll be able to be like, well, you guys will be able to be like, I don't think I'm going to get a repeat together. I haven't been licked, so. Well, I want one. Do it there. Do it there. This is a championship game. This is a championship game. Both? Both? You do the, if I do a truth, if I do the truth with you, you do it there. Okay. The truth makes me that. There? The top one is search yourself online, pick the first picture, comes up your profile picture. Share 5 sticks of 5. Share 5 sticks of 5. Alright, do that. Do that. Oh, yeah. I'll take it from here.
It's a girl.
Yeah, right? Hot potato. Oh, I lose.
I don't think I can fucking do it.
Yes, CR. Show me something. Woo! Woo!
I like gave a little jog to the
What a touch, CR. Yes. Brilliant. Yeah, I know, right? Pure genius.
Hey, Wingate. Witchcraft. I was about to say that. Absolute witchcraft.
He's serious.
I'm the magician.
That's excellent. That's so good. That's so good. That is hilarious.
He's completely upset the other commentator. It's Bruce. He talks so much shit and then tries to refer to what's just happened. Well, you know when you're fishing and you end up catching a fish, he's just scored a goal like that.
He's
You're
just
like, what?
scored a goal like
Yeah.
that. Ice. I'm serious.
Own it, Corey. Own that bench.
Let's go, Queens! Let's go!
We welcome you back to Manchester Meadows, Carlisle Field here in Rock Hill, South Carolina, alongside Craig Turnbull. I'm Jake Levy. 45 minutes are in the books. Second-seeded Wingate Bulldogs lead 1-0 over the 4-seeded Queens Royals. But the big story heading into this second half will be the Bulldogs down a man. The red card issued to Liam Gillespie in the first half, and now Wingate, whose defense has been phenomenal this season. They pitched 9 clean sheets. They'll have to do it, trying to face off 11 versus their 10.
I think the trick for Queens is change the game somehow. For Wingate, manage the game. I think it truly comes down to that.
So the teams switch sides are ready to start this second half. Here from Rock Hill, South Carolina, the Royals in their Navy uniforms going left to right on your screen. The Bulldogs in their home gold and white stripped kits going right to left. Maciel, and an early heavy tackle ref plays the advantage for Wingate as Gadsby tries to control. Then he's bumped by Maciel, and the ball comes near side for Ander, and finally the ref will stop play. As they get the foul on Wingate in the end. So you say Queens needs to find a way to change this game somehow. What are you looking for from them to do a little bit differently here, especially knowing now they've had that time to adjust as we watch an aerial pass over the top that's canceled out by Nelson?
Yeah, that's one thing there. Just not play the long, hopeful long ball over. You know, they can maybe do it, but you need 3, 4 essentially striking players to stretch the field, stretch Wingate's defense apart as much as you can, and then you can play that long ball over. Or just be a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic through the middle of the field and try to counter off of a 1 or 2 touch pass situation.
There's Okier. As he'll flip fields and allow the Royals to try to pry the other side, blocked off by Gadsby. Wingate with 4 on the back line as they come out with the same 4 that ended the first half. Gaona and Walatica on the wings. Scott and Nelson, the central backs. When Gillespie first went out, they moved Callum Ross back to that center back role in an emergency situation. Then when they had a chance to sub, got James Scott in. But Nelson, you've talked about him a lot today, Craig, and how important he's been for Wingate. Well, that role has got a magnifying glass on it right now.
Absolutely, and a lot of it's done just verbally. You're just keeping everybody organized around you. It's maybe not a physical thing, it's more of a verbal thing.
Yara skies it to midfield. Villar and Maciel trying to get ahead on it. Ross now chips it over the top, hoping for Machel. He'll settle underneath it. Machel, one-timer skied towards the box, underneath. Ander got a touch and a diving save from Current. A mistimed header from Kauczynski gave Machel a chance to sky that over to Ander. And just got a deflection on it, not much pace to it, but directed it on target and forced Current to make the sprawling save.
I think Ander would have been happy for that ball to hit his foot a little more solid. Just, again, another half chance, just like in the first half.
Schwenk tries that aerial cross, read by Gaona. Schwenk over the head of Brown. Scott able to put his head on it right in front of Corey Brown's foot. Put his head in harm's way there to get the possession, and it worked out. Now Huddy, tripped up by Fairgrieve, but he keeps possession. Referee had the whistle in his mouth, but decides to play on.
I am a little surprised Huddy's gone back to that left side, because I thought when Queens had switched him off to the right flank, he was getting some success on that flank.
Scott steps up and just boots it as hard as he can straight downfield. Tried to squeeze it through for Brown. Scott intercepted. And then he went with the long hope for John Ander that was blocked off. Now Zinski. Walker trying to make a run. Nelson there, and he'll just wisely watch it roll across.
I think we're going to take a look here at a hopeful ball, kind of floated in there. Doesn't look too dangerous really at all, and all of a sudden danger.
Well, two Royals around it, they just missed it.
And neither one going, maybe thinking goalkeeper's going to come and deal with it. A little bit of miscommunication there, and Ander almost the recipient of a gift in his lap.
He had one set on a platter for him to score the only goal of the match. Jack Wolotica with the beautiful insert. There was a foot race between him and Okier. And both of them went sliding. Both of them had the bright orange cleats. And one of the 4 feet sliding in there made contact and knocked it in. Machel fighting off defenders. Ross eyes it, and he'll just let Fairgrieve come back and play it. Again, Ander coming in to at least force the issue and try to force Queens into a mistake. Huddy. Back for Villar. Ander now. Well-timed pass. Dona trying to send Charlie Machel. That'll force Current out, and he'll play it away. Looked like he was going to roll across for a goal kick, but didn't want to take any chances with Machel steamrolling in, so concedes the throw.
I feel like Current's been kind of caught in two minds a couple times today, and that, as you said, another example. Maybe could have just let that trickle over the line.
Machel back on it with room to cross. Drives it off Maciel's shoulder. Ander picks it up there, fights it through the defense. John Ander centering pass blocked. Fairgrieve forces it forward one more time. Machel turns, but nobody there in white on the other end. And the header, Schwenk trying to get a restart going. And then the foul called back away from the play. It was the first foul when Schwenk went down. Nothing for what just happened to Campos. But another big hit. It's David Fairgrieve coming flying in.
Center ref doing a nice job there, letting play try to create advantage.
Nelson able to win possession with a strong tackle in the corner. His clear was cleated down though. And we have had the goal signaled, an own goal on Okier. So John Ander not credited with the goal. Instead it was Okier on the slide, but it was Ander applying that pressure that helped force the only goal of the match across in Wingate's favor. Wolotica, good control stepping through, and pretty good weighted ball over the top again, hoping for Machel, but Okier will just head it back to his keeper. Fancy footwork there from the freshman, rambling up from the left wing back position.
Great display of skill there. Since he's been forced into service because of that red card situation, he's done well. As a freshman stepping into a big game, he's done very well. He's got the bright blue shoes as well to prove it.
Absolutely. Some bright blues out there, some bright oranges.
A little different than when I was playing way back in the dark ages, played by candlelight as well.
Is dark ages the pun for the dark shoes, or?
Oh no, maybe the lack of electricity, maybe.
Oh boy.
You know, mom and dad in the car in the parking lot with the lights on because you don't have.
Everyone had the high beams on once the sun finally went away.
Exactly.
There are those bright blues. They blend beautifully with the high socks too. Here's an interception. Gadsby lifts it up for Ander, but he was disrupted just enough by Liebel. Sean Gadsby making that play and giving a chance. And Wingate will get it back as Campos can't handle that outlet. To midfield, Gaona. One touch over everybody. That's got a lot of speed to it, and Current will just track it down. If you're just joining us, it's 1-0 Wingate, but Wingate playing down a man. 10 on the field for the Bulldogs, 11 for the Royals. It's another good step at midfield for a turnover. Ander walks it wide to Gadsby. A good feed through for Fairgrave, just barely. Maciel able to cut it off, and he had to.
Definitely a very strong start to the second half for Wingate. I mentioned trying to manage the game, but really they're on the front foot, maybe going after that second goal.
Fairgrave heads it through. Ander a foot race with Kauszinski. And dangerous play there from Kauszinski, just trying to handle it himself, but used the body well. Fairgrave there again. Maciel able to go over the top of Gadsby, and he's whistled for the foul. So Maciel earns the free kick to get it out of harm's way. Here's the setup.
Yep. Turns his back, come up under him a little bit.
Now Queens trying to push numbers forward. They are. Walker able to squirt it forward, but James Scott there. Label for Walker. And Nelson will just deposit that into the spectators. Huddy sidesteps Gaona. And then Gaona comes back with a heavy foul. And Fairgrave going underneath. And the combo tackle, and now the referee will stop the clock here with further discussion. He was just letting it play, and then things got a little chippy. So the ref halting action and making sure everybody's calm enough.
Smart decision.
Schwenk, good ball in. Yara poked it, it's free over top.
Well done. One-handed, I believe that was Yara when he came out. Bodies in front of him. Brave goalkeeping. The freshman of the year as Walker. Good combo passing in a tight space there, but eventually it was Machel. Now Gadsby. Sidesteps Walker. Maciel comes over though and impedes the progress, and the foul called to the chagrin of the Queen supporters. For the Royals, 3 goals in the opening 25 minutes of the semifinal on Friday. Have not found the back of the net since. Edging out Carson Newman in penalties to advance here today, and now scoreless as we come up on 55 minutes gone by. Finally the ref. One thing I mentioned earlier, Queen's very centrally playing right now, centrally located. Not very good job of spreading the field. As you see, the two strikers for Queen's almost on top of one another. And keep in mind, they have the man advantage. So the wider they can make this field, the harder it will be for Wingate to be able to defend that.
Resume live action as Nelson heads it back, but Campos will keep it with the Royals. It stayed in play, but Wingate pulls it free. Fairgrave, one-timer, skies it, but the flag will be up as Ander plays it, and he was offside, so that'll halt things there. Linesman right in front of the Wingate bench.
Yeah, the obvious sign for you and I, we're sitting dead across from him. The linesman never bothered to even run in on that play. You knew that the flag was coming up as soon as he involved in the play.
He patiently waited to make sure He had to raise the flag and then did as soon as Ander touched it. Both teams looking to make some substitutions here. As Ajeji, the super sub, coming back in for the Royals, and a starter, Axel Jewell, back on for Wingate.
You just mentioned Jewell there. The note I had to myself on Friday, I put quotations, a shark. He just reminds me of a shark, kind of lurking around and chases a couple things here and there and creates havoc. You know, he causes things to happen just because of his activity. And he's ready to pounce when he creates it.
Good insert from Huddy. There's Yara. Good decision from the keeper, realizing that ball had a chance to find Villar.
Yara's not been called on much, but has done very, very well with the few things he's had to deal with.
Made a couple of saves and penalty kicks on Friday after pitching his 9th clean sheet of the season. Flag up for the handball there on Schwenk.
A couple little things after the play now on each call. It seems like getting a little chippy out there. Or Malvey, one of the two.
Wingate goes quick. Ander trying to cross up Villar. Rolls it through, but that read easily. Now Corey Brown looking to turn. He's got Campos ahead of him. He'll lay it wide. Liebel steps to it. Brown making a run right down the seam. Liebel patient, given plenty of space here. Trying to set up shop, but the pass blocked. Campos can't step through Gadsby, and Wingate's defense sound in the end.
Strong defending and just a half a step too slow maybe from Queens as far as connecting the next pass.
Liebel. Ajizi. Wolotica. Back pass from Gadsby, intercepted by Schwenk. Jewell. Pass blocked. Walker stopped it. Now Schwenk's got it again. Mark-Kevin Schwenk tripped up from behind from Fairgrieve, and he is going to stop the clock. The referee talked to Fairgrieve in the opening 2 minutes of the match, stopping it for him, and that one, a heavy tackle from behind. Looked like he clipped the outside of the ankle, just sweeping across, and Fairgrieve will go into the book, it appears. The ref will show a yellow to the Wingate midfielder with just under a half hour remaining.
Fairgrieve also gets a yellow. It's kind of a cumulative thing across the game. It's not necessarily his fouls all the time, but just referee doing a nice job saying, all right, enough's enough. A couple cards will come out.
Schwenk up top, parried over the bar by Yara. That ball dipped quickly, and Yara had to react. Beautiful take from Schwenk.
Ended up being a little more dangerous than it looked like it was going to be.
So it'll be a corner kick as Queens makes a substitution. There you see Yara. Corey Brown restarts, curls it in. Ajeji got a head on it, but that'll sky out of play. And here's a look coming right at you, Craig.
This should be a great angle. I'm looking forward to seeing this. We'll pretend that we're Yara right here.
And the ball dipping. And that thing looked like it was going to sneak right under the crossbar. That thing was dropping fast.
That's exactly right. It had a little bit of topspin to it and caught Yara off guard a tiny little bit, but as you saw, it dealt with it easily. Got a hand up, just tip it over the bar.
The Queens starting to mount some pressure now. They've been able to string a few passes together in the Wingate third. Ajeji and Gadsby with a foot race.
Might have liked to see a quick throw there, to be honest with you.
Instead, they push numbers forward and let Ajizi take it off the throw-in from Liebel. Here's Schwenk again. The distributor. Huddy can't get past Gaona. We'll see how that yellow card shown to Fairgrieve changes things here. Remember, Wingate already down a man. So certainly a guy like Fairgrieve is in that holding midfield spot and right on cue. He'll take a seat. And Burrows comes back on.
That would be Coach Hamill and good experience coaching. Hey, we cannot go down 2 men. Let's get the guy with the yellow off the field.
Long throw. skips through, and that's off Nelson and bangs out a play for a corner kick. Pat on the back from the keeper, Yara, for his junior center back who's had a nice tournament, but here gives Queens an opportunity for another set piece. Brown floats it in, Yara punched it. Robinson trying to wait for it to settle. Axel Jewell beats him to the punch. And a good sliding play from Walker. Well done to slide it to Liebel. Cross in front. Finds Brown on the backside. One step for Huddy. Machel with a sliding play defensively.
I think Machel was sliding because he thought the shot was coming, but it ended up being the exact thing he needed to do to break that up.
Good anticipation from the junior. Ejeji from the back row. Up for Huddy. Trying to sidestep, and that's got to be a foul. That's a foul on Wingate. So the jostling, and finally the ref deeming too much contact, and another good look here for the Royals.
We take a look at the contact, probably from both sides, to be honest.
I thought Burrows got tugged down early, and that's what I thought he was going to call, but then Burrows got a heavy contact at the end. And of course, with these slick conditions, it doesn't take much to lose your footing, especially on artificial grass.
Here we go, Queens. It's in the back.
Here's Brown. Another good chip towards the back post, but Okier fell down, and there's nobody there. So it'll roll out harmlessly for a goal kick.
Anytime you're around the penalty box of the opposing team, it's always a good time to accidentally lose footing as well, to try to create a goal-scoring opportunity if the ball's traveled a little bit far out of your possession.
The game within the game.
Yes, unfortunately. All sports have that, though, you know. You think about any sport, there's always those gray areas.
Damian Gaona skies it. Gadsby took a tough hit. As Joel tripped up again, and finally the ref will get it. And this heavily Queens crowd just to our right doesn't like it. But Joel was tripped up a couple of times there before the whistle finally came. And just like you talked about the accumulation for the yellow card, maybe none of those fouls was anything too egregious, but you know, when you're tripped up 3 times, eventually something's got to be called.
Yeah.
That was a lot of ball, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, the 2 or 3, as you said, the touches right before, Wingate was doing a decent job of trying to battle through, but eventually Wingate kind of got tired of it and said, okay, let's flop a little bit and get a call.
Nelson. Easily read by Liebel. Walker touched it down, but Burrows intercepts. His pass blocked off by Huddy. And then good job to keep that in play. Force a deflection by Pena. Looks like Wingate's going to go back to the bench as soon as they get a moment, but this is a Royal throw.
Yeah, Gaona, I think, got hit inadvertently in the face with a hand or a wrist or something right in front of us earlier. And I believe his nose might be bleeding.
So they'll tend to him. The clock frozen just outside 24 minutes remaining. He goes on the sideline. Correa enters for him, and we resume play. Okier for Robinson. That's a good weighted ball. Robinson looking for a chance to center this here. Huge tackle by Wolotica. And another free kick issued deep in the attacking third for the Royals.
There was certainly body contact down there in that deep corner.
When you look at the size advantage for Robinson, as Schwenk serves it in, flicked away. Brown the first to it. Queen's chance not done yet. Walker crosses. Only one there, though, is Burrows. And he continues the defense, as now the Royals were backtracking but Machel couldn't track it down. Pauszinski feeds it through for Robinson. He's blocked off. Okier will join in, trying to roll it over the top of Gadsby. Nearly did. That blocked down with a handball from Axel Jewell as he came leaping through.
It's interesting as the game goes on, the crowd just gets a little more animated, a little bit more animated. Every single touch of the ball becomes so much more important.
Liebel for Brown. Schwenk gets a deflection. Walker run off by Nelson. And it'll be a Wingate ball. Another nice play from that center back roll.
Heck of a tackle there from Nelson. That boomed through the stadiums on that contact.
And Wingate going to make a sub here as Garrett Bridgewater enters for Mateo Correa. The rain had subsided for a bit, starting to mist again. Here on a chilly day from Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Couldn't quite tell what's going on there. Queen's sidelines kind of erupted into some yelling and screaming. Maybe stall tactics on the clock, maybe? Yeah.
Ejeji called for the foul. He's visibly upset with the decision from the center ref. And again, already a couple of cards issued, including a red one, so a lot of high emotions for everybody on the field, including the referee. Something just to be mindful of as you plead your case. Callum Ross for Machel. He was able to get the head on it, but the 50 ball lands for Queens. Nice turn by Brown. Robinson heads it for himself. Gadsby stepped in the way. Now Gaona, who got patched up. He's got the gauze in the nose to stop the bleeding. But here's Robinson starting the run for the Royals. Trying to get past Ross, who commits the foul, and a good foul there from Callum Ross. Just got to be a simple foul. He didn't do anything egregious, but made the foul when he had to, realizing the Royals were starting to have numbers there in the box. And now another good set-piece opportunity for Queens.
If you're Queens, you have to be salivating right here at this opportunity. Dead center of the goal, many options. You can just go ahead and rip one upper 90, run somebody around the outside of a wall, float something to a far post. There's so many different things you can do here.
3 Royals standing over the ball. It'll be Schwenk that walks away. The ref laying the chalk. So he's going to get the foam spray out and mark off 10 right at the top of the 18. So they set the wall. Wingate with 4 right in front. Now Brown will walk away. It's a solo take for Ejeji. And he skied it.
Not the best effort there. Certainly Ejeji's looking up at the sky right now thinking, man, I just blew that opportunity. But again, you don't have to be fancy with a free kick. Just make sure it's on frame. Maybe take a look here at Gaona. Earlier on we got hit in the face a little bit, unintentionally I believe. Might be frozen up a little bit.
Yeah, there you go, going for that 50 ball.
Yeah, just
you see the reaction afterwards.
Similar to the red card reaction, actually, to be honest with you.
But there was actually blood.
Correct.
So the glorious free kick opportunity for Ejeji, and didn't put it close to frame. That rode up on the arm of Robinson. Unintentional, but still enough of an impact on the ball with the arm. The ref has to blow that dead. So Nelson presses forward, under 20 minutes left to go. Machel slips underneath. Nice back pass to Burrows. Good awareness. He rifles one across the goal mouth, and then it gets touched on by one of the Royals and then scooped up by Current. And again, it's John Ander right in the thick of things, out in front of the goal mouth.
It's funny how goal scorers are always in the thick of things, isn't it?
You don't get to be Conference Player of the Year by not being in the thick of things a time or two.
You are 100% correct.
Schwenk. Nice ball to Walker. Ross couldn't clear it, but Burrows does. A very strong clear from the senior.
Yeah, it should be a Queens throw, a Wingate throw, and it is.
So Burrows, excellent defending, the Cary, North Carolina native. Pena run off the ball. Gaona slips it wide, then he's tripped up from behind. That's going to be a booking. Gaona's got to be careful. He did get the arm up. Didn't look like anything forceful behind it. But Walker will go into the books here at 18-13. He's shown a yellow for the hard tackle from behind through Gaona. So both teams with a yellow card right now. Wingate, of course, with the red earlier.
Yeah, probably no question at all about the foul or the yellow. Again, I do worry the hands on someone else's chest when the call's already been made. Wingate has to be smart. Just let those situations go, take the foul, and move up the field.
This match has the feel of a conference championship match, doesn't it?
It does.
Ander hit the ground hard after leaping for that. Gaona fought off by Ajeji. Liebel sets up Robinson with a good ball. Robinson cuts it back towards the box. Nelson comes over. He's muscled down, and that'll be a foul on Robinson. It was tight to the end line anyway. Corey Brown telling Robinson to get away from the center ref, as now they'll stop the clock here for Nelson, who's still laying down. He took a hard hit here, Craig, as you watch it again.
And Nelson does a great job just shielding the ball. Robinson steps in with a bit of a shoulder, but you can't put a shoulder in someone's back like that and expect that to be a call.
So the clock will restart on Yara's take. The second-seeded Bulldogs leading the fourth-seeded Royals 1-0. A goal in the opening 5 minutes, an own goal on Omer Yokier. It stands as the only tally thus far. Wingate, despite playing with 10 for much of this match, have, as you said it, Craig, managed it and done a little bit more than that. They've still done some pressuring despite playing a man down.
But Wingate is being smart. They're taking their chances forward when it's a sure thing. They're not.
Dangerous turnover as Schwenk steps through. Or Kevin Schwenk has a go, and Yara on the dive. There is no rebound.
Yara just kind of smiling, saying thank you very much. I see the shot the whole way. Nice and easy for me. But yeah, Wingate it needs to be smart, and they have been smart, attacking, getting numbers forward when it absolutely is clear that they have straight possession of the ball.
Nice stop by Liebel. There's Okier trying to get it past Jewell. He went to a slide to pry it free. It'll stay with the Royals. Liebel again. Bridgewater deposits that back out of play.
Bridgewater hit that ball out of bounds, and he kind of took both hands like, settle down, boys, settle down. Not a bad idea just to dump it down deep and let everybody get it reorganized a little bit.
And of course, at this point for Wingate, they're more than happy for anything that'll allow some extra seconds to drip away. Wingate will make a sub here. Important to note here as we come up on the final 16 minutes. At the 5-minute mark, if the team that is leading makes a sub, the clock will stop. As Andrade comes on for Burrows. Ander got a foot on that, and now they're going to change the decision. Maybe they called a dangerous play. It looked clean.
Offside. Yep. Far side linesman had his flag up with the call. Notice here Corey Brown's dropped really deep into the midfield to try to get more on the ball. He's just not quite getting it up top, so he's dropped in here into these situations to try to create, unfortunately. Oh, sorry, that's Ezekiel. That's the wrong player. I'd really like to see that number 9 player get up high, use his pace and use his ability as a target player.
Okier's pass blocked. Now Wingate trying to counter. Gadsby passed one defender but lost possession on his way through. looking up to the ref, looking for a whistle, doesn't get it. Brown walks it across midfield for Ajiji. Gaona intercepts. Machel looking long. And with Ander again circling around Okier, he'll just use his keeper to flip field.
Under 15 minutes. Here's where Queens really needs to pick the pace up of things. 15 minutes is certainly a long time, but time is ticking as well.
Well, it was a 1-0 lead for Wingate in the championship match a year ago, and Tusculum got the equalizer in the 87th minute. As this runs across for a throw-in for Queens. Here's the offside call on Ander.
I'd say, what, a step and a half maybe? Although very tight player in the middle with the orange shoes. I couldn't see the number. It was very tight to holding that line.
Machel will exit. Fairgrieve comes back playing with that yellow card. Villar also returns as he immediately plays the ball. Nate Evans back on for Wingate as well. There's a touch trying to send Evans. Current on a foot race with Evans, and he just has to launch it out of play. It's not a bad idea. Saw all that room on the backside trying to get Evans into some space.
It's funny there, Evans' ball goes out of bounds, and he's kind of quickly looking for the ball, looking at the ball person. Hey, where's the ball? Where's the ball? And the entire Wingate team is walking up the field. Hey, take it easy.
Yeah, we're in no rush here.
Maybe that exuberant freshman versus the older experience. Hey, absolutely no rush.
Gadsby was able to force that all the way through on Current. And the whole Wingate bench signaling that was a throw-in for Wingate, but the only arm that matters points the other direction.
Little ping pong battle there, back and forth.
Evans certainly showing some energy coming in late in this match as Andrade slides it out.
Take a look at the bench reaction here for Wingate on that last throw-in call. Not quite going Coach Hamill's way.
Evans draws the foul on Kaujinski as he continues to fight through. A freshman that Gary Hamill very excited about. Seen some good playing time here this season on a team that was tabbed as the preseason favorites to win the conference. 7 preseason all-conference selections. Evans getting to start right from the very first match. Flag will be up there for offside on Axel Jewell. There's Evans. You see the arm up around the face and grabbing the back of the head. The referee saw it. Easy decision for
no option but to call that, absolutely.
Correa's trying to find the solution for his side.
I think that's the first ball I haven't seen Nelson win for Wingate in the back there. He was double teamed and couldn't get off the ground to even jump for that one. Another very strong match from him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting as Evans touches that for Andrade. You look, if this scoreline holds, the tournament MVP has to be a toss-up between Yara and Nelson. Very rarely is a offensive player not really mentioned in that mix.
Valid point.
Gadsby tries to foot it through for Jewell. It was the right idea, but too much pace. Huddy, too much on that as he turned it through, and Yara will calmly tell Huddy, no, it's okay, I've got it.
Thanks for running all the way down here to check on me, but now I'll pick it up.
Jewell tripped up by Okier. It's almost as if Yara is telling him, okay, you're close enough, I'll pick it up now, you don't have to keep coming.
Yeah.
It's fine. And we talked earlier about the great sportsmanship he showed yesterday. Now Robinson blocked off by Colin Ross, and you pointing, Craig, there's number 12 in blue all by himself on the other side of the field right now.
And it's been that way probably the past, I don't know, 6-8 minutes. Every time the ball's on that far left side of the field, away from the camera, this near side post has been open. Queens has not done a decent job of recognizing the big over-the-top switch.
Rain starts falling pretty steadily again as we're inside 10 minutes left. Here's a chance inside. Stepped on by Robinson. Andrade will get there first to clear. Now Wingate a 2-on-1 if they hurry. This is a good ball up for Evans, but Current will come all the way off his line and make the play. Well timed from Jewell there to set up the freshman. Fairgrieve missed that, so Ross will have to come back through for Yara.
And Jewell just about timed that one ball forward to Evans. Current did a great job of recognizing it and stepping out off his line to deal with it.
Andrade tugged from behind, still slides it to Evans. He's trying to fight off a couple of defenders. Fairgrieve now. Bridgewater calling his shot and then eventually taking it. Gets a return from Gadsby with good weight into the corner. Ajeji comes back to pry it free, and as it walks across, it will be a goal kick. Well done by Ajeji in tight space there not to make contact and get the free kick for his side.
Ajeji is quite the physical specimen. Very, very strong looking young man.
Schwenk bumped off by Evans. Feeds it through, but the flag will be up on Gustavo Andrade.
Hey, Wingate had a nice little 4v2 created right there. That would have created a tremendous ability to have some breathing room in the last couple stages of the second half.
And it looked like Evans wanted to go for a wide play. As this one rifled on by Robinson wide. And Wingate can make a substitution and get Charlie Machel back in. But Andrade went straight up while Wingate tried to play it wide first, and because of that, the timing wasn't quite there.
Also for Wingate, number 11, John Ander.
Imagine here Coach Hamill making just those last couple changes to see out the rest of this match.
Yeah, his two starting forwards are back for the final 7 minutes as Ander and Machel both return. Current has to go quickly with Ander running through, and Gadsby then banged down by Villar, and that'll get the foul called. So Wingate right at midfield. And Villar continuing the conversation with Gadsby. He's the one who drew the red card on Gillespie, remember, and now the clock will be stopped here. As the ref wants Wingate to hurry up here, 6:42 remaining.
Underhit a little bit there from Nelson.
Well, on the other side, Villard in the middle of a heated conversation. If you want Wingate to go quick, you don't want them to take time off. Don't be causing any distractions.
That's right.
Here's a good ball for Ander on the back post. Current will slide in just in time. Ajeji one touch for Walker. Ahead for Huddy. And there he is, Alex Nelson, a strong, perfectly timed sliding tackle to push the ball out of play. Queens will make a substitution here.
Nelson's happy the turf is wet, because his knee would have been quite abrased if that turf was not wet on that slide tackle.
Mayfield comes back on with under 6 to play. And Bridgewater knew it.
Yeah, I think they definitely...
And they actually banged heads.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
Bridgewater went over the top, and both he and Huddy hit the turf, holding their heads. And they're going to wave on for medical attention here. Bridgewater checking the top of his head.
Yeah, looks like he's got some blood there, unfortunately.
Both sides really shaken up.
Yeah, blood running down his arm there from his head. He's probably gashed open pretty well, actually.
Yeah, you got to look right over there atop his left ear. You could see the abrasion. So he'll get helped off. See the blood running down over his ear. Certainly hope he's all right. But he'll be tended to by the athletic training staff.
I doubt they'll be able to patch Huddy up in time with these 5 minutes left to get him back out.
As he's paraded past the supporters, a good round of applause.
There's a shot of what we're speaking about.
The junior of nearby Fort Mill, South Carolina, who had one of the goals for Queens on Friday. So before play resumes, another conversation. This time telling Ajeje to ease up. It's Bridgewater right in the middle of it. Here's the insert from Schwenk. And Jewell just
very smart.
Continue that on all the way down. Okiar. It was his touch that put the only goal into the net. Of course, had he not touched it, very good chance John Ender would have, so can't totally fault Okier for the play, but it does stand as such.
These last 5 minutes, Wingate wants to try to keep the field as compact as they can, make sure there's no opportunities for any splits or just quick little through balls. And again, Queens, I would think, wants to try to stretch it as much as they can.
Ander. Bumped off. Villar right into the chest of Gaona. And he'll force the Royals back defensively to regroup. Wingate in the SAC championship match for the second straight year, looking for their first one in a while. As Schwenk called for the foul. And with that, we'll give you a chance to look at the collision between Bridgewater and Huddy.
Yep.
You see it pretty heavy on the back corner.
Bridgewater definitely feeling it, but Huddy the worse for the wear in that situation. Just a good solid clash of the heads, both going for the ball.
That's the danger of those 50-50 balls in the air. Certainly no intent from either side to clang skulls, but...
Would you purposely intend to do that?
Not me.
No.
I wouldn't purposely try to put my head on a soccer ball moving that fast, though, so... Jewell has a go from long range, short hops the keeper, and that was tipped on the way through, it looked like.
I thought it was as
They're
well.
going to say no, they're going to say just a goal kick.
Yeah, I actually thought that ball was tipped as well.
Under 4 minutes left to play in regulation. That blocked by Ander.
Now, even with 10 men, Wingate is doing a fantastic job of always being in the face of a Queens attacker with the ball. Even if it's a simple 10-yard pass, it seems like Wingate has somebody in front of the player.
Another launch over the top, hoping for Robinson. Blocked down by Callum Ross. Machel tried to find the soft spot. Current right to Gaona. Ander sandwiched. We get another look at Axel Jewell's drive.
See if it takes a tip here.
Don't see any change in trajectory,
No.
so just over the dive, so a good call from the linesman on the far side. Schwenk can turn this for Robinson. That's a really good ball, but Callum Ross will send it back to Yara. And look at the patience and composure.
Well played there from Ross on the header all the way back.
And Yara a little coy there. Not coy enough. Another foul called against Villar and the Queens Royals, and now Wingate can march forward here as they'll stop it with 2:19 left.
In some ways, you want your team to be smart and slow restarts down, but you don't want to be so slow that the clock stops. There's always that fine line.
Well, the referee coming over to talk to Gary Hamill, who is not happy And that was a quick stop of the clock. I mean, he stopped it solely for the free kick. It wasn't like Wingate was circling the ball and dropping it down, but Pablo Yara fielding that ball earlier, and then he held his head a little bit, and that knee did hit him in the skull. Probably not
Brown's trying to get his leg out of the way there. He's
Oh, not saying it's intent, just he got
he
hit.
definitely got bumped, yes.
Good touch from Gadsby, that blocked off. Anders settles, takes it into the box himself, tried to roll it through the legs of Oakyar, not that time. Good head ball on. Yara is going to come out. He slides it wide. The net is wide open as Jeji can't get it past Gaona. And as it kicks out, it will stay with Queens. But Wingate averts last-minute disaster hauntings of 2014.
I think Yara's taking a little bit of a knock there as well when he came out to deal with that ball with his feet.
1:50 left on the clock. Almost an instant replay of 2014 is that's not the sight Wingate wants to see, is their freshman of the year goalkeeper down holding his leg.
Definitely, I think he took a knock, but it's also a good opportunity to let we might get a chance to take a look right here.
Well, we got stepped on right on the top of the ankle.
Yep.
On the follow through, and then the adrenaline had him get back up, trying to get back on his line, but once the play was stopped, and all of a sudden that pain comes rushing in, and a lot of worried eyes on the freshman keeper. But Callum Ross pointed to him very early, saying that one's all you. Ross had a chance to hit it a little bit harder back to Yara, but chose rather to let Yara play it straight the way it was. Minute 50, here's the long throw into the box. It's free at the top for Oakyar to take a drive. That's blocked in front by a Bulldog. Another one through, and they are going to get the handball there on Mark Kevin Schwenk, and he is furious. And a little extra contact. And now the clock will be stopped, and that'll be forced for a booking on Schwenk. He begged for it.
Yeah, it's absolutely obvious.
So Schwenk's shown the yellow with 90 seconds remaining in regulation.
Wingate will be smart here to hold a little possession, but really try to dump towards corners. Definitely think they're going to the right flank. They've got just about everybody on the field over there.
Ross sends it downfield. Gauna.
It's not pretty, but sometimes that's all it takes is just keep advancing the ball up the field however you need to there with just 70 seconds to go.
Oakyar can't get it past Andrew, at least slowing him up. It'll be Nelson again, depositing it deep into Royal territory. They'll get the throw. 1 minute remaining in the second half.
If Queens can find it, the right side's open again, as it has been.
There it is. Is he onside though? The flag is up. Saw it from here. He started his run just a bit too early. The crowd won't like it. They had all day to set it up and still couldn't time it. And that one is a heartbreaker. Clearly offside, but no reason to be.
No, you have the entire field in your line of view.
25 seconds left. As Wingate goes with the long restart. Ander trying to slip pass through. He is onside. As Ander touches it on into the side netting. The Bulldogs tack on the insurance with 16 seconds left. This time, no doubt about it, it's the SAC Player of the Year, and the Bulldogs will be SAC tournament champs for the first time since 2002.
Such a nice finish there, 1v1. Go ahead and have a rip. Surprised he actually hit it left-footed to that far side. I thought he might go right-footed.
That's his strong foot, is John Anders' left.
It's a tough ball to hit because it's curling away from the goal essentially, but he finished it quite well.
Perfectly into the side netting. Wingate down a man for 70 minutes. But tack on the second goal of the match. They scored in the first 5 and now score in the last 1. And a huge finish for the Bulldogs, who with that not only solidify what looks like a SAC tournament championship, but also solidified their spot in the NCAA regionals coming up next week. They were the 5 spot in the rankings coming in, and the 2nd seed in the tournament. Schwenk will try to start it up. He's hit down, and the foul call is this one launched, and they'll stop it at 10 seconds left. The 10-second countdown had just begun when the ref stopped the clock. And now mayhem ensuing as Axel Jewell shown a yellow card. Really no reason to take that yellow.
So many needless things happening off the ball.
The linesmen are going to come in for some assistance as well to force both sides back where they belong. Liam Gillespie already red carded. Now another yellow, and Alex Nelson, the leader along that back line, telling everybody relax here. There's 10 seconds. Don't do anything to risk a regional matchup.
Queens with really no option here, just lump the ball into the box and hope for a good bounce here or there.
And then try to do it again.
Poach it in, that's true. 2 goals in 10.2 seconds might be asking a lot, but crazier things have happened in all sport.
It'll be Schwenk as the countdown begins. That looked like it caught the hand of Villar, but it won't matter. Ander will launch it downfield. And as Current chests it down, the clock hits 0, and the Bulldogs, the South Atlantic Conference tournament champions for the first time since 2002.
Well-deserved victory. You know, as you look at the game, the scoreline probably does indicate the team that was a little bit sharper through those 90 minutes.
Pablo Yara with a big hug for his center back despite being down a man for 70 minutes. The Bulldogs pitched their 10th clean sheet of the year, led by their freshman goalkeeper and junior center back. The Bulldogs get the SAC Player of the Year to add some insurance, and the Bulldogs on to regionals as SAC regular season and tournament champions.
It's got to be a nice feeling there for Coach Hamill and his entire staff, and obviously all the players. Well-deserving victory. I thought they were quite sharp on the day, as I said earlier.
Don't forget, coming up next, we have the Women's Championship Final, but first make sure you stick around. We'll have interviews coming up right here on the SAC Digital Network. The Bulldogs, the 2-0 victory. They are SAC tournament champions.
Joe Scavadini.
Hello there.
Also from Carson Newman, Stuart Oliver. From Lincoln Memorial, Nick Splem. Also from LMU, Danilo Da Silva. All tournament team from Queens, Corey Brown. From Queens, Ryan Kositsky. And from Queens, Mark Kevin Swank. From Wingate, Pablo Yara. From Wingate, Colin Ross. From Wingate, John Ander. And from Wingate, Charlie Machel. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2015 All-SAC Tournament team.
Nelson's number 4?
No.
And now the 2015 SAC Soccer Championship Most Valuable Player. From Wingate, Pablo Yara. We would now like to recognize our runner-up team for an outstanding effort in today's match. Will the captains from Queens University please come forward and accept the tournament runner-up award? Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate the Queens University Royals. And now, with the captains of the Wingate University Bulldogs, please come forward and accept the championship trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2015 SAC Soccer Tournament champions, the Bulldogs of Wingate University. We invite all of you to stick around for the women's championship match coming up next between Carson Newman and Wingate. That will begin shortly. And women's championship up next, Wingate against Carson Newman.
Here on the SAC Digital Network after the Wingate Bulldogs win their first South Atlantic Conference Tournament Championship since 2002, joined by all-tournament team selection Callum Ross on the defensive line and head coach Gary Hamill. First, coach, after getting so close a year ago, your first one since 2002, what does this one mean to you?
It means an awful lot. I mean, last year left a very bitter taste in our mouths, obviously from losing it very, very late. And the first one since 2002, is it? And I think the first double since '94, so it's been long overdue.
So you've had that one on your mind for a little while. Callum, obviously you went down a man very early, so that back row really had to step up. What was the conversation like along the back line? I saw you got dropped back there for a little bit.
Yep. I mean, with 10 men, it's obviously always difficult. I had to go back there, kind of help the lads, kind of anger it a bit. Plenty of talking and stuff. I mean, we're under pressure for the last 60 minutes or whatever. But I think we defended really well. I mean, we gave it our best and obviously came out on top.
And then, Coach, after you mentioned that late loss of it last year, to get that second go-ahead goal or second goal very late, what did that feel? Was that kind of a relieving moment for you there in those final 20 seconds?
I think it was very relieving, especially when John Ander had an opportunity to hold on to the ball, similar to what we had last year. So, I threatened to kill him, so he put the ball in the back of the net for me.
And I see you got your family with you. Who's with you right now?
This is Finn. Say hello.
Hello.
This
Finn
is
here
my
with
nephew, Finn.
The nephew here, the whole family celebrating. Callum, obviously you had the knee injury last year, missed a lot of the season, get to come back this year. What does this one mean to you to be a part of not only a regular season run, but a tournament championship run as well?
It means an awful lot. When I hurt my knee last year, it was horrible for myself. Had to watch from the sidelines and stuff. I've enjoyed it so much this year, being a part of the team. Obviously I was part of the team last year, but being a part of the team this year and help the lads out, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Obviously finished it off with a win. I couldn't ask for anything else.
And then tournament MVP Pablo Yara had to be the 10th clean sheet of the year. What more can you say about your goalkeeper?
He's absolutely spot on. He's helped obviously massively. It was something that we've obviously wanted to work on from last season coming into this season. It was absolutely excellent. Made some brilliant saves. Obviously the one at the end there got stuck in. Obviously hurt himself in the process, but it's one with the game really, hasn't it? Excellent.
And now one final question for you to look forward to NCAA regionals. This one pretty much solidifies your spot. What's the celebration process like? Because those regionals come quick.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'll have to ask Coach if I can enjoy it tonight, but early on in the week I'm sure I'll be back in on Monday or Tuesday working hard because obviously very important games coming up. Got to win it to stay in at the minute.
Well, I'll give you permission to enjoy it tonight. Thanks for joining us, Callum.
Thank you very much.
That's Callum Ross joining us here on the SAC Digital Network, as well as head coach Gary Hamill after the Bulldogs win their first SAC tournament title since 2002.